Coach. How you doing? I'm Ben Dooley, MCC Coach, and I am here to share with you another little bit of information, little bit of skill, little bit of technique, tips, tricks, and all of that stuff that's going to help sharpen and tighten and tweak your coaching. And, I'll start off really simply. This is a tool that I learned this when I was probably about 10 years old. I learned the secret to powerful coaching when I was 10 years old. Now, I know you probably are saying, well, duh, look at all the brilliance that children have and how easy they go through life and how authentic they express themselves. And yes, all of that. When we were kids, we actually had a lot figured out. And somehow along the way, when we became adults, we got messed up. And we started doing things the hard way. So let me fill you in on my little secret. When I was probably about 10 years old or so, I got hooked on doing mazes. You find it's a whole big thing, and there's pathways, and you go around, and then dead end, and then you go away, and dead end, and then you go dead end, and then you go, and you finally get to the out. And I loved them. I was riveted. I was so excited that my parents would go to the bookstore, you remember those? And they would go to the games section and they would pull out maze books. Now this is way before, back in my day, we had things called books and we liked it. And nowadays you can go online, you can get mazes everywhere. Go ahead, go online and get a maze, and you're going to practice and you're going to test my system. This is how I learned how to beat any maze that's out there. Now, maybe that's a bold claim because there are incredibly hard mazes. I'm talking about your standard everyday maze that you can fit on one sheet of paper, and you got to get from here to there, or from here to the middle, or you got to figure it out. But I figured out the secret. Oh man. And so it was driving my parents crazy because they couldn't figure out how I was ripping through these books so quickly. I mean, thick books with like 50 mazes, 100 mazes, and fill it in, done, Mom, okay. And it was driving them crazy because, again, there aren't that many maze books out there either, right? So and we couldn't go on Amazon and buy all the maze books that are out. It was all that was available. But I found the secret. Oh man, and it was great because I didn't get it right away. I would sit there and I would struggle with it, and I'd get stuck, and then I'd back up, and I'd get stuck, and then there'd be all these lines everywhere. And I would figure it out, I should do this in pencil. Because doing it in pen, now I've got all these lines that's making everything messy and confusing. Well, where did I go last? Well, is this the dead end? Oh, I guess it was. Okay. So I learned, if I do it in pencil, great, now I can erase. I mean, there's still a little trace, so it shows me, this is a dead end because now it's erased, but I can still see the indentation and the little trace of it. So that helped me clarify through trial and error. Okay, well, I'll go down this path. Oop, that didn't work. Okay, I'll back up. Here's the next path, the crossroads I was at. I'll try that again. That didn't work. Okay, I'll back up a little bit more. And so I would go as far as I could go until I hit a dead end. And then I would back up and do the next to last option. And then I would try that. And then if that was a dead end, I'd go to the next to last option in that, and then go on, and the next to last option in that, and go on. Now, that's not the trick, by the way. That's not the secret. I'm just sharing with you the progression about how this developed. Because that, at least, I just kind of followed a system, and I would always just go to as far as I could go, and then I'd back up and do the last option, or crossroads, or pathways that I passed. Sometimes it would lead me to the end and success. Sometimes it would be a lot of the times it would be another dead end. And so then I'd have to back up. And sometimes I would do this entire long maze all the way dead end, and then back up, dead end, back up, dead end, back up, dead end, back, and all the way back to the very beginning where I started, and every single option along that long winding pathway ended up being a dead end. Ugh. And so I had to go right to the very beginning where I had 2 or 3 options right at the beginning, and now eliminate that. Now the good news is that through that trial and error, and even though it was long and arduous and agonizing and frustrating, I did eliminate all the pathways and options that wasn't going to work. It would be ridiculous and idiotic for me to do it again, right? So, at the very least, practicing and working with a maze taught me sometimes I'm going to hit dead ends. Sometimes I'm going to get really close, but there's a dead end. But if I back up and just go a different direction, then I'll click it. And sometimes it taught me that I can do a lot of work. I can put a lot of effort and a lot of time, and I can keep backing up and correcting and adjusting and tweaking and twisting, and it will still end up being a dead end. And I need to just go a completely different direction. Sometimes. I mean, that's life, isn't it? That's what we do in our coaching. I mean, we work with our clients. We help them move down their pathways. Oh, we hit a dead end. Okay, client, let's back up a little bit. Okay, now where do we go? Oh, dead end. Okay, let's back up a little bit. Sometimes we have to back up a little bit more. Sometimes a little bit more. Sometimes we got to back up really far. Sometimes we have to just, you know what? This isn't working. And so we need to back up all the way back to the beginning and start fresh. This is life. So this is not the secret of how to beat the maze, but this is how the maze actually taught me how to go through other parts of my life, not just on paper, but through life. And then, as I said, I discovered the secret. And I'm not sure how I came across this. And when I say this to you, you're probably going to be like, you're going to react one. You'll be like, wow, that's brilliant. Or, whatever. Either way, I promise you, hear me out. So what I discovered was, if I'm starting here, and my object is to get here, and then I got to go through this maze and follow all of this patterns and everything, usually the person creating the maze creates a lot of distraction and a lot of it's going to be the harder, more roundabout way. So instead of a straight line, which would be easy, but then that's not a maze. That defeats the whole purpose, just having a straight line. And so it's not even just kind of the semi-easiest to get there. It's almost typically this way and then around and then back and then around and then back and then this and that and a bit. And then you're out. So already knowing this could be simple and easy, but it could also be a longer path. But that's not the secret. What I discovered was that if I'm starting here and I want to get here, right? But if I started here, the end point, and worked backwards, what I discovered was all the traps, all the multiple pathways and directions you could take were all pointing towards anybody coming in through the entrance, through the front way. It was all designed to attract and catch you going into the traps. So I would go to the end and then I would walk backwards, and all the dead ends were all facing the other way. And I would just right past them. It was amazing. And I would zip through it and I'd burn out a complex maze that would normally take me like 20 minutes to do. I was knocking it out in 2 minutes. And that's how I was getting through books. I would go to the end and then work my way backwards. Are you getting, you see, I can see the wheels turn and you're like, okay, yeah, and then this is coaching. And yeah, this is coaching. Notice we do the same thing. We work with our clients. Our clients are like, oh, I want to achieve this endpoint. I want to get this goal. I want to get over here and do this thing and have this outcome and result. And then they start doing it and trying to plod their way through, and they hit dead ends and they back up and they go this way and they hit dead ends and they back up. Coach, I'm hitting dead ends. I just don't want to do this stupid thing anymore. I just want to go back, whatever it is. And that's most of the hard stuff that we go through in coaching. Or take your client to the end. Take them to the end. What's it going to be like? What's the end point? What's the end design? What is it like at the end here? Get them to the end. Let's skip over the next month or 3 months. I know, but that is fraught with dead ends and traps and sticky spots because you're trying to go and achieve and get somewhere and you don't see a clear pathway to get there. But if you get to the end, let's go to the end. Let's leap ahead a month, 3 months, a year. Now, get really clear what that end is. What is it like? What are you doing? Who are you working with? How are you handling it? What's going on here? How do you feel when you wake up in the mirror and look in the mirror? All that stuff. Get that really sharp and clear. Here's the end point so that your client can put their pencil or pen on that end point and work backwards. Great. So what's the last thing that you do? What's the one thing you do before that? What's the thing you do before that? What's the thing you do before that? Let's go backwards in time. And I promise you, this will open up and reveal the pathway to your clients. This little difference makes a big difference. Try it first. Get a maze online. Don't get like the super duper hard one that has baffled, people and, geniuses and all that stuff. Just get a good simple maze. Try it first for a little bit. Set a timer. Set a timer for like 5 minutes and see how far you get. And then go to the end. Set a timer and see how far you get. And then do it with your clients. Go to the end and then work backwards. It's not instant, it's not magical, but it makes it so much easier because all the traps and distractions and alternate pathways and obstacles and all that stuff is designed to capture your client going forward through time. And you're going backwards. So you're going to bypass all of those sticky spots. Most of them. Try it. And keep coming back for more. I know this is powerful. I hope this helps you. Try it. And I will see you back. Go check out my website also, bedo.org. I've got tons of ways to help. If you don't know already, I've got a membership. I've got classes, courses, everything. I'm here to help you grow. Be the coach you are here to be. And by the way, how I work is I help you get clear of your endpoint. Who are you going to be at the end of this journey that we're with together? Who are you striving to become? What is the coach that you are here to be at the end of this journey? Let's get clear about that. Let's walk it backwards. Your pathway to your magnificence just got easier. I promise that is how I work. I love sharing this with you, and I'm glad to share this with you. Go try it, and I'll see you soon. Until then, happy coaching.